I'm driving back from Lime Rock. It's a wonderful drive. The roads are beautiful. And that kind of brings me to the whole point of this video. I don't understand this new trend that no one wants to drive their cars. I mean, it drives me nuts. I mean, you look at these new Ferraris out there and they have like 1,000 miles on them, or they're celebrating the fact that there's a car with like 150 miles, or it's 1,000 miles, and everybody's cheering and clapping at it. And I'm sitting there going, why are we celebrating the fact that a car has 1,000 miles on it? What that tells me is it's a car that no one's ever driven. And, well, then what's the point of having a car? I mean, I don't get it. I look at, you know, Ferraris or Porsches, these collectible cars, and they're all like celebrating the fact that they have no mileage on them. But, well, then what do you own it for? You work so hard, you make a lot of money, and then you go and buy something that you don't use. And then you turn around and sell it to somebody else, and then they don't use it. And then they put, can someone please explain that to me? Like, I don't get it. And to me, it's like, it reminds me of those kids that I would grow up with that had like toys that their parents would buy collectible toys, and then they would still be in the original packaging, and they weren't allowed to play with them, but they were allowed to take them out and look at them. So this like whole idea was having this toy that it was going to be worth money one day because it wasn't it was never played with, and it's still an original. Well, what kind of sense does that make? Like, that's like the kid that was deprived of a childhood. And to me, it's like, you have a car, you don't drive it, you've deprived yourself of an enjoyable drive like this. I don't know. It's amazing. You know, it's like, I get it when people have like these large car collections, and they have like, oh, I have this one that is like still in the wrapper, and I have that one that's never been used, and this one's a special color combination. But what good is it if it sits in your garage and no one gets to see it? And the only time you get to see it is when you pull it out of the garage to sell it. Like, again, you know, I'm not trying to judge people, but I guess I am. I'm just confused because, you know, I drive my car, and even then, I know I don't drive it enough. I wish I could drive it more, but, you know, it's just, my business is such that I'm busy, and I can't drive it as much as I can or would. I have other customer cars to drive, but like when I can, I try to drive it. I get it. It's like there's this fine line between driving a car too much where you wear it out, and then you have this car that you don't drive it enough and it wears out. Because like a lot of these vintage Ferraris, the less you drive them, the worse they get. They actually get worse. Some of it I can try to understand, because, so I have 4 cars. I have the Ferrari, I have a Porsche 996, I have a Sunbeam Alpine, and I have a Mustang Fastback, 4-speed Fastback, 65. Now, I felt bad because I wasn't driving my car as much. I was too busy with everything that I had. And I said, you know, this summer, I'm going to try to put 1,000 miles on all of my cars. It's quite a bit. That's 4,000 miles I got to drive. I mean, 4,000 miles of pleasure driving is actually a lot harder than you think. And I wasn't going to like stick to it, but the idea of it was kind of like, I'd like to try to burn a couple tankfuls of gas in each of these cars. And so, it was work. I mean, it was like, you had to like just do it. And I get it. It's like trying to use the car more often. But I'll tell you what, each car got better and better. Like my Sunbeam with the Stromberg carburetors on it, those carburetors, if I sit for a month and don't start it, it doesn't really want to start. But once I start it, every day after that, it starts fine. I mean, it's just, it needs to have fuel run through it. And having the fuel sit in the carburetor bowls for a month, it just goes bad, and it makes the carburetor work not as well. So the Sunbeam, the last time I put it away, because I don't keep all my cars in one place, so I kind of have to swap them out from garage to garage. So like I unfortunately had to park the Mustang up for a month or two in the summer because I was using the Sunbeam with the top down. So I didn't get to drive the Mustang. Well, when I went to start the Mustang, it was a little cantankerous to start. But then once I got that started, you know, and I'm driving it now. In fact, I'm driving it, once I return the Ferrari, I'm gonna go get in the Mustang and drive that back to the house. So I get to use these cars and shuttle them, and you know, it's an enjoyable drive. But I get it when guys go and start making some money and they start collecting cars and they start buying all the cars that they've always wanted. And I get it. It's like, you know, I'll buy one, then I buy two, then I buy three, then I buy four. And the issue is that when you start getting a collection that's too big, you're not driving the cars. I mean, it's like me with 4 cars is actually can sometimes be a chore. I know it's a first world problem, but it's like there's a certain size of a collection of cars where it's just too many that you just can't use. And you know, the dealers aren't going to tell you that. The shops aren't going to tell you that. The auction houses are going to tell you that because they want you to keep buying more, and the shops don't want to tell you that because the more cars you have, the more you have to do. They have to fix them when they sit. But you know, for me personally, with my own car collection, I'd love to have more than 4 cars, but the reality of it is like I barely drive my 4 cars as it is, and for the longest time I only had 3 cars, and I recently bought the Porsche just because I really missed having a 911. But did I really need it? Not really, because that's another car that I have to put in the stable that I have to run and drive. So you really start asking yourself, like, how big of a collection do you need so that you can actually drive your car? If you have a number that you think is the right number for a collection of cars, let me know, because I personally think it's 4 cars, especially if you're taking care of them yourself. If you have, you know, when I see guys with larger collections, 10, 20, 30 cars, they usually have a manager, and then they have a schedule, and then they have to be driven, and the owners aren't even driving them. It's the collection manager that's driving these cars. So to really enjoy your own cars, it's not that many cars. But so I get it where like you could have a car and you only put 1,000 miles a year on it. Because look at my Ferrari, it's like I'm lucky if it has 1,000 miles a year on it. See, I have about 15,000 miles on this car. Well, 20 years of ownership, that's not even 1,000 miles a year. Well, the first 8, the car was apart in pieces, so I'm kind of allowed to not have miles when the car was apart. But my point being that I could have a car for 25 years and all you've done is really put 15,000 miles on it. Well, that's not gonna hurt the value of the car. Nothing makes me more angry than going to a Ferrari show or a Ferrari club meet, and at the end of it they say, and Ferraris are meant to be, and everybody screams out, driven, and I look around and it's like, which one of you dudes are actually driving your cars? I mean, this is like, it's so hypocritical for Ferrari owners to like chant that Ferraris are meant to be driven, and none of them are driving them. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So I would love to see, even if you put 500 miles on your car, it's not going to hurt it, but it's like saving it for the next guy is just absurd. Another point I wanted to make was that we don't know what the future is going to be like. I mean, for all we know, gasoline could get so expensive that we're not going to be able to even use it or buy it. Who knows what's going to be like 20 years from now? And I want to look back at the time when I could just go to a gas station, fill up the gas, put premium non-ethanol fuel in my car, and just burn it for the day. Yes, it's not environmentally friendly. Yes, there's a lot of stuff, but you know what? Like driving a Ferrari on a day like this, it's not going to kill the planet compared to taking a transcontinental airplane. So, like to me, I'm not burning tons of fuel, by enjoying my day. But I do feel like it's worth it because I am looking back at this time when we could actually drive these cars and use them. I mean, what's going to happen if we gave up this chance to do this? We gave up the opportunity to drive and burn fossil fuels while we still have it. Where 20 or 30 years from now, or whatever, when I'm old and, like on death's bed, and the kids are asking me, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. You guys used to just put gasoline in your car and just drive them to car shows like anytime you wanted to? And it's like, yeah, I did that. And I enjoyed the living hell out of it. I'd want to be able to tell that story. I don't want to tell the younger kids one day where it's like, yeah, I had a Ferrari, but I never drove it because I was too concerned about saving the miles on it. Like, that's just, like, what kind of a story do you tell about your life? Can you tell a story about how you didn't drive your car and saved it and it was still in the wrapper? Like, is that worthy of telling? So that's the other question I have. Like, what are we doing? Like, why is that such an achievement to not drive something, to not use it, not to benefit from the hard work that you've had, that you can finally afford a Ferrari, and all you do is keep it in the locked away and not drive it. So anyway, I'm off of my soapbox. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this drive, even though I'm stuck behind a truck and trailer. It's still driving my Ferrari, and I'm still having a wonderful day. And I'll get off my soapbox and just enjoy the drive. And you guys should be out there driving your cars too, because that's the whole point. And thanks for watching.